they need to keep doing these stuff that
Yeah.
hits people, and we have to keep holding a mirror to ourselves because we're just gonna keep going through the motions and then turn around and realize we've completely fucked the whole world.
Is it really hot in your flat?
Hmm.
Because mine is really warm. I don't know if it's because there's only windows on one side of the flat as well.
Oh yeah, because I've got one side of my flat that's really warm, and it's a side that's got my office. It's a side that my bedroom's on, and the other side is the living
Cooler because
room.
it's the side with the lake and the trees.
Hmm. Hmm. But yours only has windows on one side. That's so interesting when you just said that.
Literally, all of so that means that when you open all the windows, you can't get the airflow. You know how they say to get opposite ends of the house to create a
There's a word in it in
yeah.
German.
Oh, is it a
Yeah.
German word? Of course, it's
Yeah.
German. It's always German.
They've got a word for everything. Speaking of your flat, it was so good to go and have a walk through on Friday. It felt like we were going to like a museum. Do you remember when we used to go to the Jeffrey Museum at the home?
Yeah.
And we'd walk through.
And it shows you all the homes throughout the years.
Yeah. And it was so good. I thought that was a really interesting museum.
Yeah, definitely it was. It needed a little bit more investment because the actual artifacts and stuff they had was cool. Like the fact that essentially it was each room in the museum, or as you moved through the corridor, they would have created like prototypes of a living room in the 1800s, a bedroom in the 90s. It was so cool. But after that, like everything outside of the exhibitions was just kind of dead and low budget.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But they did have like they did invest in stuff like the classes that we used to go to, the art
Hmm.
classes, and they did like festivals as well outside on the gardens.
Hmm.
I wonder if they still do all of that.
Yeah,
I
they
need to
do.
go.
They do. They do. I think they do it even better now since they were renovated. But yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They do loads of events on the grass now. When I used to still live in Hoxton, I'd literally hear it from the flat all the time, like people cheering or a man on a microphone, like encouraging teams. Like there's all sorts of activities that happen there. I'd love to go.
Oh, yeah, we should go back. Also, I remember standing outside when I used to live in Hoxton as well, standing outside, and someone was doing radio interviews, and she stopped me and asked me, what do I think of the fact that they've changed the name? Because it used to be called Jeffrey Museum after something
Slave owner,
Jeffrey.
a slave
Yeah.
owner. Yeah.
And during the whole Black Lives Matter back in 2020, when Black Lives mattered for a bit, that one summer, they were taking down statues in Bristol, and there was a huge uproar about the fact that we're still upholding so many owners. And so Jeffrey Museum changed the name to the Museum of the Home.
They've
And so she
regretted.
interviewed me.
That is so cool. Did you actually respond though?
Yeah, I was like, I
You
think
gave
it's
your
good.
thoughts.
Yeah, I
Where did
did.
it end up?
I don't know.
Oh my
That
God,
was a
dig that
big.
out, please, so that we can post it. I find it so funny how much they've regretted making us think that our Black Lives mattered for that brief moment. It honestly, we should have known that we were going to pay for it. We were enjoying, we were telling them all about our experience, we were gathering apologies, we were getting like brands were adjusting somehow. Like D&I could not have been more booming.
Oh my God. And then
We
it came
should have
crashing
known. They
down with D&I.
snatched it all
They
away.
were so
They're
angry
like,
about DE&I
yeah,
specifically as well.
it wasn't like, oh yeah, we're just going to stop like investing as much here. We're just going to reduce our efforts in this area. It was literally like, take it away. And anyone whose title even hints at DNI, sack them.
No, but
It's crazy.
collecting apologies, how freaking awkward was that shit? I was
It
like,
was the
stop,
worst.
stop.
It was the
Why do you
worst.
only now know that you should say sorry to me?
Exactly. And do you know what? Now hearing you apologize is actually upsetting me more because you're admitting that all along this has just been going on. It was such a weird time. It was such a weird time. That episode we did on your podcast, because Chid had a podcast through lockdown, we were discussing how it was impacting our friendships, I think. We talked about,
Yeah.
yeah, we talked about friendships and how blackness or a recognition or a refusal to recognize aspects of what the black experience is, how that's impacted friendships, our friendships throughout the years. Because at the time, a lot of us were having to navigate new information or new conversations that you hadn't had quite had before with your white friends. Even if you've spoken about race with your white friends, because I obviously had like throughout university, it'd be very much a topic, but it was always from a point of view where you kind of already assume their innocence or their
Yes.
agreement. It's like you're all just talking about politics in a way where they're not part of the white group, they're part of the liberal, accepting group. But then Black Lives Matter in 2020 was about how being white already lent itself to being racist simply by the fact of like white supremacy and growing up in a society that upholds or exalts whiteness above everything else, and how you as a white person, what you internalize. And then it got personal because it wasn't just theoretical conversations you were having. You'd start pulling out examples of experiences you've had with your white friends, and you tell them, well, when this thing happened and you did this, like, oh my God, it was so so awful. It was so
Yes.
awful. I remember one
Yeah.
conversation I had with my friend when I had to tell her that often I'd have an experience that, you know, like the intuition or the intrinsic knowing of when you're going through an experience that is informed by racism. So when someone's treating you or mistreating you, and you know that that's because of their feelings towards Black people or non-white people,
Yeah.
we just know because you've lived these experiences throughout your whole life. So just something in your body tells you, like, they haven't said a racist word, they haven't called you a slur, but
Mm.
their demeanor is giving racist. A look in their eyes is telling you that they're racist. Something about the energy that they're giving to you is very much, we immediately sense it and immediately recognize it as racism
Mm-hmm.
without needing any other clue than a glance across the room.
Mm-hmm.
So I had told a friend about this experience I had with a woman in the street, and oh no, it was a woman on the train, and she had been particularly nasty to me. But I was saying, and I know it was because I was Black, the way that she was looking at me, I could tell that she just had something against Black people, like it was all racist. And she was like, "Oh, are you sure though, or is it because? Are you sure it's not just that this?" And every time I just noticed that unless it was super, super explicit, I would often have to find myself arguing, like defending my point to her, gathering evidence to try and explain to her why that was racist, or having to prove my experience to her. And that was one of the things that I mentioned to her during 2020 when all this was going on. I was like, yeah, it feels like, whilst you may be coming from the point of view of racism is so awful, I don't want her to think that this is what life is and this is how people think of her. I'm giving this person the benefit of the doubt that actually they were just having a bad day, or actually they're just a shit person, or this specific thing that's not the obvious racial structure that impacts our everyday life and most of our experiences when we leave the house.
Mm.
So yeah, she was coming from that point of view of like, no, it's just denying that racism is so pervasive feels better for her.
Mm-hmm. It was, and also that's so she's just sitting there invalidating it
Mm-hmm.
because it's so uncomfortable and
Yeah. So
because it's
now I've
like
had this racist experience outside, come home, told my friends about it, and now I'm having to
defend and
def-
just and not justify, but like explain
mm-hmm,
something that's so difficult to explain, and also you won't get it because you're not even
mm-hmm,
getting it right now.
exactly. And then it almost
It's
feels
like
like
trust me, it is. It's
exactly. It almost feels like, oh no, no one's believing me, and it's like a re-victimizing in a way. So anyway, I spoke to her about that, took that apology, put it in the bag, went around collecting more, literally just here. And when you said that, but the thing is, I wasn't going and being like raising the point up with individual people to be like, hey, remember in 2017 when you said this? It was more like they would be talking about it, or they would start the conversation, and then I'd be like, yeah, I guess it's kind of like how that time when, you know, it was, I did tell you that this was my experience and you made me like have to give you a 3 point essay about why that's the case.
And I think that's what it needed though, because sometimes, especially during that time, we were all in our houses, right? And it was so social media like led all the
Mm-hmm.
whole Black Lives Matter stuff. And you'd have the people put in the black square and you'd have people posting all these infographics that looked really nice and pretty.
Mm-hmm.
And it just felt like you were pedestalizing yourself without actually looking in the mirror and being like, wait, but this is really similar. And you're calling out this person, but this is really similar to what you did. And I had to do that not just with friends, but people that I wouldn't class this guy as a friend, but I follow him on Instagram. Met him on my year abroad. And he posted something very, very specific to like using the N word and calling people out for doing that. And I was like, you are. I had to message him because I was like, you, the whole of our time in Malaysia, you as a brown person use the N word in every single song, and every chance you got, if I'd glance over to you at the bar, you would be screaming it out
Oh my
in a
God.
song. So I don't really understand why you
Of all
specifically
people.
posted that infographic talking about the history of the N word when you were so happy to use it. Well, this was 2020, so 2 years ago, because that was when our year abroad ended. So it was just interesting the way people were just like, yeah, I'm ready to get on my high horse and I'm ready to point fingers while I've got four pointing back at me
Hmm.
and not really recognizing the things that I've done to the people that are right next to me, my best friends.
Yeah.
My very, very interesting time for sure. The black squares, I was actually it's so funny that we're talking about this now because do you ever just go on someone's Instagram and scroll right to the bottom and then look through their whole post sometimes?
Maybe once every year.
Yeah, so maybe this was my once a year time. Like the other day I was scrolling and being like, oh, I want to see what her old posts were. And I saw the black square and I was just like, this is so funny.
It's literally like a marker of when it's 2020. Like it tells you what year it is. You
Yeah.
just keep scrolling. And you're like, oh, I've hit 2020. Continue down.
I thought people would have deleted them by now, but I guess
No, do you
they
remember
wore it
how
like a
much?
badge of honor.
Do you remember
Yeah.
how much influencers and brands were getting dragged for deleting their Black Lives Matter squares and posts? It'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, you put it up for one day and now it's down.
Yeah, because it became very much a trend and a thing of like, I've ticked that black square box
Mhm.
and now I can carry on with
But the
my
thing
normal
about
program.
taking names and collecting apologies was that what that 2020 race revival thing was telling us is the message was that everybody's racist, but not about an individual level, about the way that society is structured, and you can't escape it. There are people giving out the racism and then the people on the receiving end. And telling our individual friends about what they specifically have done, the point was it's in everything, in every interaction, in every small way, even when you're not intending it. And I think that's where a lot of white people really struggled. When it comes to racism, intention is always the thing that they want to hold on to the most. Like, if I'm a good person and I'm aware and I'm conscious of racism and I have friends that are not white, then it's like, how can I be racist? And I don't want to have to sit and apologize or take accountability for something that society's just accidentally put in my head. Like, I've just gone ahead and absorbed this without my consent and my awareness. Like, I didn't want to find out that racism is in every single small thing that I do and that actually I can't escape it. And actually, there's nothing I can do to not be racist. I just have to always live my life with my head bowed, feeling bad for being white and feeling bad that I've grown up in a place where whiteness is the best. And I now also accidentally believe that.
Mm,
I think that's
mm.
where we started to lose them because it was like, I think even for the most well-meaning of white people, subconsciously, when you've grown up always being the one that's, on the top of the hierarchy, that kind of thing of like, now I'm being made to feel guilt, one, but two, I'm having to apologize and bow my head and be like always aware and always upset, always sorry. And I
Mm.
think I think because of whiteness and white supremacy, that's what's taken us even further back now.
Yeah,
It's like
because it was so much better when it was like
we all knew our
we
place.
yeah, and also with racism, the weight and the gravity of that word before was about this person that explicitly, as you said, was racist in a way that no one can deny it. It's
Hmm.
not just saying the N-word in a song, you are calling someone the N-word and then
Hmm.
following it up with some really, really racist things that you can't deny. And
Exactly.
we can all point at that person and we can say, including every other white person, we can point at them and say, they're a monster, they're racist, they're terrible. But now, if you are part of that spectrum of racism or part of that word that we held such gravity, because remember, no one could be racist. They'd be
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, they just said some racist things and did some racist stuff.
Yeah, but they're not
I mean,
racist
they're
really.
not
They have black
racist.
friends out on the
Yeah.
outside.
Exactly. So it just became this thing of like, okay, well, if everyone's racist and I'm doing racist stuff, look, I can't. No, it's too
Right.
much now, and I'm not
Right.
doing this
What's
because
the
you
point?
guys are taking it too far,
It's
and it's now
exhausting.
just
I,
everyone, and I can't be
I
asked.
can't win at this. I can't be the good person at this. There's no
Yeah.
And the only way I can do that is by eating humble pie and always living in that humble place. I can't be asked with that.
Yeah, no. And actually I've also had a bad life. And there's also
Exactly.
I've had the struggles too. And they don't realize that it's not all about you and your thing. And then it just
Yeah. And
becomes
actually,
this
let's
thing.
talk about class because no one wants to talk about class. It's actually class, really, when it comes down to it.
Exactly.
Do you know what? Let's do our signal check because this links to something that I watched yesterday that has sat with me in such a heavy way. I'd like to discuss it.
Oh no. Okay.
What's your bars?
I'm like 3 bars. I'm not full bars. I'm feeling good. The sun's out. It's been really nice. Friday was lovely. Og and Ek came round my flat. First, we went to Og's, looked around. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous pieces. Really nice
Yay.
curated space.
It was so great to get the seal of approval from you guys. You're the first people that have seen our flat, like outside of me and Alex. You're the only, well, yeah, it's actually only just been the two of us who've walked these halls.
It was so good to see it because I hadn't, obviously, we hadn't seen it since we helped move your stuff in, and it's
Mhm.
come miles from where it was. So it's really, really, really nice. And then you guys came around, we had picky bits, we had wine, we just put the worlds to rights, which we really needed to do.
Mhm.
And I just felt energized from Friday. So now I'm still on a high. It goes down 1 bar only because I watched the netball on Saturday. It was the Netball Super League final, and my team that I support, London Pulse, were against AO Manchester Thunder, and unfortunately they lost by 3 points.
No.
Yeah. And also it's just been one of those chill ones this weekend where it was just like there's work that I needed to be getting on with. The sun's been out, but I've not really like been in it, soaking it in. So it's just very chill. But I think Friday definitely has carried the mood for me. What about you?
Good.
What's your bars?
I think, I mean, I want to say I'm full bars because there's no reasons for me to not be full bars, but something in my mind is not vibing with the full bars when I want to go and say it.
Mm.
So it might be, do you know what it is? I think it's because I'm thinking about work.
Oh dear.
It's because we're recording on a Sunday, and it's because my mind is already thinking about work tomorrow
Yeah, but it's a Sunday morning. It's not
morning. I
even a
know,
Sunday afternoon or
I know, but this weekend was so nice, and I feel like it went too quickly, and I need another day. Like I need another
yeah,
2 days after Sunday.
I agree.
Friday was so nice drinking wine at yours. Yesterday I went to London, saw my friend. We went to Finsbury Park, walked around, popped into a couple of cafes, grabbed some drinks. I got a couple insect bites. But again, it was just nice to chat and catch up and told her all of the latest and everything I've been going through. It's a crazy story that we still haven't shared on the podcast. And I have also been, you know, when something really, really big and wild and crazy happens in your life and you go to tell your friends, but you do it, but there are certain things that you just hold on to with yourself for just a little bit longer. And then you drip it to each friend. You'll just be dripping, dripping, dripping. Oh, to this one particular friend, yeah, that thing with my blah blah blah. And then you're like, do you remember I told you about that thing? And they're like, yeah, but you didn't really say. And I'm like, yeah, it was this. And then you just keep doing that with each of your friends because low key, you're still needing time to process.
Yeah.
So I dripped it to one of my friends yesterday. Well, I told everything. I told her everything yesterday. And that was good. To just chat. Came back home. Alex had got Chinese the day before. So there was leftovers for me. So I
Yeah,
was,
I
yeah.
thought about you guys and your Chinese the other day.
Yeah, Alex was actually out at his friend's birthday thing. So I was when I got back in the evening, I sat down, I was looking through Netflix, Disney Plus, all of them, desperately trying to find something to watch. Nothing was tickling my fancy. Then I saw this show called Tiptoe. I think it's actually on
Okay.
Channel 4. Yeah, Channel 4. With Alan Cumming, one of the producers. And he's the main character as well, called Leo. And
Am I supposed to know who
sat
Alan Cumming
down.
is?
Yeah, you are. Search him up. You do know him.
Let me check.
He's the host of Traitors in America, and he's done so much as well.
Okay, yes, I do know who he
Yeah,
is.
it was a good watch. It was a good watch. It's set in today, and it centers around Leo, the main character, who is a gay man, and his neighbor Clive, who is a homophobic, red pill, a typical, like, it's set in Manchester, a typical white British man who is blue collar, and has been indoctrinated by talking points that he's seen online that are racist, homophobic, transphobic, anti-immigration, and his personal life, you can understand why, or it mirrors the reasons why someone could be so easily taken by that kind of rhetoric. So he's struggling to find work. He's increasingly feeling more irrelevant in society, in his family home. Where's his place when he's not bringing in the money? In his work, like, he's not respected. He's not getting the hours and work that he needs to. He voted Brexit, but it's not making a change in terms of feeling like Polish workers are taking his jobs and Asian men are on the construction site taking roles that he thinks he should have. And then his next door neighbor is a gay man who is doing way better for himself, has a thriving community. He owns a bar. So Leo, Cummings' character, owns a bar, a nightclub, and that club employs, like, I think he said 45 staff all in all, of like drag queens who stay by the door and perform on the night, trans women and men who are behind the bar and are in management. And it's amazing characters. There's this one woman called Z who's a trans woman, and she's my favorite character in the whole thing. I love the actress. Like, it was just so easy to fall in love with her and feel protective over her. She's having a situation with her home, like she lives in a house share with a bunch of men, and it becomes unsafe for her because every time they drink, they start like banging on her door and threatening her and being overly sexual towards her, whilst also showing this like deep hatred. And that's the thing with like trans women, like the existence that they face today. The hatred is so sexualized, like the sexual violence is so intensely dangerous and like always at the forefront of the hatred. It's really scary. And that's essentially the message and the theme of the show, is representing what the gay and trans experience is like today, and how 2026 and all of the political decisions that we've made as a society, as a collective, leading up to this point, how it's impacted the day-to-day experience of gay people, and how we've gone back in terms of levels of acceptance, how open, how comfortable and confident they feel being open compared to the heyday, like literally being fresh off. And Leo is a gay man who is about to turn 60. He's got a friend, Martha, who is also a drag queen, who has seen all sorts of eras. They've lived through the HIV and AIDS epidemic. Leo himself is HIV positive, talks about how different what that meant for him in the 90s or in the 80s versus what that means for him today. Like today it's nothing. It's just like, it's just a thing that I live with and I take my pills every day. But how now they're more scared than ever. And where I think Martha says a line where she's like, before she used to walk into a room saying ta-da, and today she tiptoes. Like, you have to be careful. You don't know what level of hate people hold towards you. And then it also touches on, yes, there's the straight white men and the energy that they bring, and how angry and scary and how much of a threat they are, but also straight women and how dangerous they've been to the trans community, and even the small comments and whether they are valid or what is valid or where all of these emotions are coming from. The show makes a good point of showing the personal lives of each of these people who are being homophobic or transphobic. We know that Clive, the next door neighbour who is homophobic, is going through it at home. He doesn't have a job. He's struggling to get hours. We can see him battling mentally with like his feelings towards his 16-year-old son, who is clearly gay. And again, we see him coming out to his next door neighbor, but at home having to play this straight son. He has an older brother as well, the house is just two boys and Clive and their mum, and it's just so testosterone central. And whenever the 16-year-old boy, what's his name? George. Whenever George's older brother Sol is home and his friends are around and they're watching football and they're drinking lager, and that environment, and how, as a gay person, that feels, being in a room of testosterone as a closeted, not testosterone in itself, but like I guess this toxic straight masculine energy, and how quickly it becomes, they can smell out his weakness or this secret that he's trying to hide, and they'll gay jokes to him all the time and they'll rough him up, and it's actually very, very scary even watching it. And as a woman, you can feel the energy of that room, and you know that that's a room that you would never want to be in. And as a black woman, you know that if you walked past a drunk rowdy group like that, you're in trouble, you know. As a the hijabi, like it's just, as minorities, the way it was so well portrayed in the way that you could feel how it was escalating as they were getting more and more in their energy of whatever the, I don't really know how to describe it or what word to really use to capture it, but so much happens in that series. It's like a 5 episode series. The ending, yeah, I want you to watch it. So I'm not
Okay.
going to say what the ending is. Essentially, it does a really, really great job of showing what life is like today for the gay community and the LGBTQIA plus community, but it's in a way that is deeply, deeply sad. And all of us are experiencing that reversal of our rights. Women, ethnic minorities, we spoke about it literally at the start of this episode about the reversal of D&I initiatives, the backlash, you know, how in history you go through change or a revolution and then you're met with the equal and opposite on the other side coming back tenfold. It was very harrowing, very important, very well done, and actually very funny as well. It was a good watch. Like, characters are brilliant. Like, you really get into it with the community at the nightclub, and you want to believe better for some of the other characters too. Like, you see them grappling with things and you're like, oh, is this actually going to be? And then it's not. It's always what you think it's going to be, without saying too much. And then the more complex ones of, like, the Leo has a female best friend who's a straight woman who will make certain comments, which what she's expressed is actually a homophobic comment or transphobic. She's very, very hostile towards one of the trans characters, Z, who's my favorite one. Very hostile. She loves gay men but doesn't like trans women or trans people. And that's a thing that you see in, like, you know, feminist, gay loving, liberal women who now are starting to feel threatened by the existence of trans women, feel that their rights are being threatened, that their ability to express themselves as a woman or be proud of their womanhood, or feeling that their spaces are being encroached upon by. It's sad. It's sad and it's horrible, and the way that the wrong people are getting the blame. And yeah, you know, like, It's a Sin, where it just stayed with you and stayed with you. That's how this has felt. I'm like thinking about each character, like, how did this person, yeah, anyway, let me not, before I accidentally spoil some bits.
No, this will be one that I'll definitely watch because Channel 4 does those shows quite well, I think.
Yeah.
It's a Sin was on Channel 4, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It really frustrates me about this, like, minority on minority situation that we've got going on, because everyone's so focused on trying to protect their space, and just like what you were saying with Leah, I think his name was, and his best friend being the straight woman who loves gay people but is kind of side-eyeing the trans community, and then particularly has a specific bad energy for Z.
Yeah, trans women.
Yeah, trans women as a whole. And it's just about protecting your spaces and being
Yeah.
really, like, gatekeepy about things, as if it's going to put anyone further at all. It's just going
Yeah.
to send us all back. And it's the same with the whole, obviously, there's a lot going on in Northern Ireland with all of the protests. Would you call them protests? Riots? It's giving,
Race riots.
like, yeah, really, really scary situation. And people keep talking about how there was a point where it was no blacks, no dogs, no Irish, and you're forgetting that. But as soon as you get entry into the space where you feel accepted and you're part of the majority and you're quote unquote accepted, because I don't know, you're right there with them.
Yeah.
And you're happy to be exclusionary and oppressive to others.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
I also don't believe that the whole no blacks, no dogs, no Irish thing, when it was in that time, Irish people were aligning themselves with black people. I don't think that was the case. I think it's just we were all excluded, not meaning that they were supporting us or that they also saw themselves as separate to whiteness. Like, I think they always felt that was there. And listen, I can't speak for people back in the day, but there are groups that feel like that's their rightful place
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as they've been accepted into the definition of whiteness, it's like, okay, perfect. Let's take up our key function, which is excluding others. But I find it really sad. This Pride Month this year has felt really sad. I'm feeling like a desperate energy of fear. Not feeling like celebration, like for celebration's sake of like, yes, we're visible, we're here, we're queer, we're happy, we're proud, we're showing that off, let's have a party. It's giving protest. You can really feel the, okay, now let's all look out for each other. We need to all come together. It's reflecting our situation, which is that they are not safe in public like they were in the same levels that they were even 10 years ago. I'm feeling a difference in the energy. I'm feeling a difference in the messaging and in the types of events that are happening. Like, yes, it's parties. Yes, everyone's celebrating, but there's a other energy there that feels like, but let's do so carefully and let's do so knowing that most people aren't going to like this. And I don't know, I'm just noticing in the posts that I'm seeing and in the messaging that it's different, and that's made me really sad.
I don't even know where we're supposed to go. And what that shift is going to be, because it's like we've swung this way, we're swinging that back this way, we're going two steps back and then trying to move one step forward. I don't know what that shift is going to be, because if you look around and see the state of the world, the leadership, the rise of fascism and the far right, it just starts feeling a little bit bleak, and I'm not sure what that catalyst is going to be to make that change all over again.
And
And
also,
I say all over again as if we got to a utopia and then we've gone all the way back. No, it's just there were glimpses of some sort of progress that's being erased.
and we've been here for so long as well. Like we've been noticing the rise, the rise, the rise. I feel like we're at the point where it's just all kind of exploding. And you've got the incels and you've got the just violent misogynists, where we're at a point where I don't know how we're going to solve that situation. And then you've got the extreme homophobia and transphobia, and it's all leading back to the same source and rhetoric of like toxic. And I feel like even saying toxic masculinity minimizes it so much. It's more than that. It's that I don't feel even captures what the source of all of this is right now. But yeah, it's bad. It's bad. One of the things that someone says in the show is the way that history always changes. Like, just like you said, it's a pendulum, it swings back and forth. The one truth that we have in that is that blood is going to be shed. It's always going to be conflict. And yeah, that doesn't sound very positive, but it's real life. And your point about everyone just wanting to protect their space, like minorities wanting to protect their space, to hold on to all the work that they've done and, you know, have that control over it, and gatekeeping it, like only having it as a specific group of people who know who benefit from this, benefit from the work, and who are safe here. Like, this is our safe space for us guys. That's the goal, is not that we all have pockets of our own spaces where we feel safe. The goal is that we don't need to have these things. And surely, is that not? Like, what's the harm in saying that this space is actually just a space that's safe for everyone who faces the violence of patriarchy? What's the harm in that? Like, I'm speaking about TERFs and trans exclusionary radical feminists. What's the harm in saying anyone who is a victim to patriarchal violence is safe here? And the point is just we widen it out so that society is in general just a space that doesn't face the harm of that, where we're eradicating these beliefs that lead to those behaviors. It's like, no, it's like the goal is actually just that we have a pocket here, that we've got guardrails up and we take names at the door and we check genitals. And if you aren't fitting this very narrow box, then you're not allowed. And that's a good thing, because that's making us feel safe, and that's respecting our identity as women, and that's recognizing the harm that we face. The existence of trans people and the acknowledgement that trans women face violence does not negate the reality of our experience as women at all. It actually seeks to validate it even more. When I was watching that scene where it was the football hooligans in Clive's house, as in Clive, his oldest son, and all his friends, all I was thinking was, yes, as a woman, I would also be unsafe in this space. As a
Hmm.
black woman, I would also be like, it's the same thing. I know they have a lot of arguments about like, I don't want to get into it because I actually don't want to spew the talking points and give it
Mm.
space. And at the same time, I do think there does need to be space for women to talk about our specific unique experiences, but that does not mean that we can't be in community with others.
So did you say that Alan Cummings produced it? He was the
Yeah,
producer as well as starring in it.
he's one of the executive producers, and he's also the main character, which I love
That's
it when people
good.
do that.
Yeah.
I always wonder, like, did they
Lin-Manuel.
start? Yeah. I always wonder, did they actually start casting like a casting process and auditioning people and then realize none of you guys are capturing my vision here? No, this is Leo. He walks like this. This is how Leo would deliver the line. I don't want to keep having to tell you.
Sorry, the vision of that then coming in, walking in, and then Alan just stands up. No, he would say this,
Yeah.
and he would walk through the door, and he'll do it, and he just like, hang on, guys, I'm gonna do it.
I'll just be Leo, yeah.
Yeah, but I love when creatives do these sort of message, like create these things that hold that heavy message, and clearly that's stuck with you, and it's really good and it's really reflective of their experience. Like that guy, can't remember his name. That doesn't bode well. The Scottish guy from Baby Reindeer.
Oh my God,
He's done
Richard.
another.
Oh,
Yes.
Richard. Something or other. I saw him when he performed in London
Yeah.
before the Netflix show came out. I saw the actual original one man performance of Baby Reindeer. It was brilliant. Richard Gath or something? Richard Gadd.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So he's done another show.
So he's got another show out on Netflix.
Yeah, Half Man. I don't know if it's on Netflix, but it's called Half Man.
Yeah, what's it about?
It's like showing the relationship between him and his brother. And I think it's just exploring masculinity, repression of feelings, all of these themes that we're experiencing and the fallout that we're experiencing in society today. I haven't actually watched it. I need to watch it. But the people that do that, like Alan Cummins, Richard Gadd, Stephen Graham, like these, they need to keep doing these stuff that hits people, and we have to keep holding a mirror to ourselves, because we're just gonna keep going through the motions and then turn around and realize we've completely fucked the whole world. I mean, we've already done that, but I just love when creators actually create and it holds and it sits with you and you're like, oh shit.
And the fact that it's men creating these things to speak to other men, to question their behaviors, and hold up that mirror and show this thing, these ways that we are. It's not just, we didn't just come to be, and it's not just intrinsically man. Look at how we've got here. Look at the damage that it's done and is doing to other people, but also importantly to ourselves. And I think that's where a lot of these shows are really effective, is when it shows that the men themselves are not living a great life and are not super happy exhibiting all these behaviors. And it's not just that, like, when you're at your peak form, this is how you behave. It's like, these are people who are lost and pained and misinformed and big fat losers at the end of the day. Big fat losers. No one gives a shit about their existence. Like, feels completely lost and left behind because you haven't kept up, because you've been so focused on what other people are doing. You've been so focused on what you feel you're entitled to. Why are the immigrants getting that? Why are the women getting that? And you can't even get up from your ass and try something for once in your life, but you're so focused on blaming other people. And now what has that done? You're becoming even more irrelevant. No one gives a shit about you. No one wants you around. No one cares. You don't make an impact if you're there or not. You could fall in the tree, you could fall in the forest, and no one would give a shit. Because at the same time, like, whilst people recognizing the reasons of these things, like, I don't have sympathy for it.
Yeah.
I can understand where that comes from, and it's sad that that's your existence, but at the same time, you've been set up the best than anyone else in society, any other group, any other social group. Sorry that we all started having a little bit of that pie, and because we're now getting a little extra 2%, you're very upset. I'm sorry. That's why it's better that your male counterparts are speaking to you, because if it's me that's speaking to you,
you wouldn't.
I'm gonna make it worse.
Exactly.
I'm gonna make the situation worse. I feel like the way that I'm coping these days, and it's probably not the best, but it's just, and this is actually something that I think Tiptoe speaks to as well, is I'm just trying to keep my head down and focus on my little life and make it happy, and be aware, of course, like, don't just close my eyes and think that nothing's happening, but be aware, but just don't be obsessively on top of the latest racist thing that happened, or the latest place where the BBC actually left the slur in when they could have removed it, or the things that all show just how much everybody hates us. And I don't need to be aware of that in my day-to-day life. Like it was really, really, really hard in 2020, and that existence was very, very stressful and upsetting. And now I'm back to just holding on to that tiny little bit of delusion that just gets me through every day, so that I can still, try hard in my job, and I can still sit down in the picnic surrounded by British people and not feel like everybody doesn't want me there. So that's what I'm doing. And is something that is touched on in Tiptoe, and you'll see where it got them.
Oh no.
So
I'm scared. I'm getting scared. I don't want to be crying.
you probably will cry. You probably won't. You might not. You might just, to be honest, I was just stunned. I was stunned. I don't even think I cried. I think my eyes just widened. I was sitting there with my jaw open, and I just, after watching certain shows, you have to put on like Family Guy or The Simpsons. I didn't even do that. I just turned the TV off. I went to my bedroom and I just lay on my bed scrolling on TikTok, actually scrolling people's analysis and reviews of the show. And it's not like there was deep analysis. Most people are just like the same stunned, like sadness.
Yeah, that's how I felt when I finished watching The Long Walk. I was just like, the way that it's talking about our society, specifically around war. You haven't watched it yet, have you?
No, I haven't. I do have it on my list though.
I have a lot of big feelings about, as do a lot of people, about war and the lies that people are told, and the way that the adverts are towards joining the army, who it's like targeted at, who they're trying to drag down. I think as well, the movie was about the Vietnam War specifically, or mirrored some of that rhetoric at least. There's so many of these shows where it's so true, you kind of have to dip in and out of the awareness, because if you keep being all consumed, you'll just be like, what's the freaking point? What's actually the point? This place is shit, get me off.
Yeah, I think you have to be mindful about what you're feeding your subconscious, because obviously we need to be aware, but the impact that it has on your functioning is quite intense. It's not the same, but once I was like binge watching How to Get Away with Murder. Like I think I got through 3 seasons in the space of like 2 weeks. I was watching it from the moment I woke up to the moment I went to sleep. When I was doing my masters, like it would just always be on. And then whenever I'd leave the house, I was so conscious that murderers were around and serial killers exist, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. Like that could have been one. I could have just passed one. I could have been almost victimized. So you actually have to be careful about what you consume and how much space you give it.
I had this same thing when I was in my Criminal Minds bag. I used to watch Criminal Minds in the living room, at the living room computer. Do you remember the corner of the living room? I used to have to close the curtains because I couldn't dare see a peek of like
the outside world,
the window, that someone's looking through the window about to kill me. But then when I left the house, I'd be binging Criminal Minds. When I left the house, I'd pass someone, I'd think, okay, if they try to attack me, I'd kick his walking stick, grab him up, thinking about how defend myself against every person that I walked past in the street. Was crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're so right. But that reminds me of when me and my friends, I think this was like maybe year 9, year 10 in secondary school, and me and my friends were starting to like read up about feminism and racism, and we had picked sociology for one of our GCSEs, so we're really just in our like sociology bag and opening our eyes to the world a bit more. And I remember turning to one of my friends and being like, why aren't you like getting involved with us like researching, and when we talk about it, it seems like you go quiet, like aren't you interested? And she just turned around to me, looked me square in the face and was like, I just want to be happy. And I was like, go off, sis.
Do you know
I think
what?
I've said this on the podcast before. Like, I always think about that, about her just being like, girl, I just want to be happy.
Honestly.
And I was like, oh God.
And what a noble pursuit at the end of the day. Don't we all just want to be happy? It seems like everyone's on holiday at the moment. And what's the destination of this year? Because I'm seeing a lot of people are in Malta. A lot of people are in Mallorca, Mykonos. It's like there's an M theme going on.
Yeah, I think Mykonos is always popping and jiving.
But what's happening in Malta? Was there an event?
There was DLT Malta. But then even after the fact, and I'm seeing it a lot on my TikTok as well, Malta. And there's another one, Paris, obviously, for Fête de la Musique.
Oh, yeah.
People are there. So there's a lot of people on my feed right now that are in Paris. I really have been looking at where to go between now and November, because I'm going away in November, but I'm trying to get to 30 countries before I'm 30. And by November, I'll be at 29. So I need one more country that I haven't been to go to. So I was thinking, should I just do Malta, that everyone's there
Oh,
and it's popping off? But I don't know where and when. I'd kind of like to go somewhere Friday after work and come back Sunday evening, like just at somewhere where something where I don't have to use annual leave because I don't have annual leave. Just
wait,
a quick
so,
trip.
but you haven't been to Portugal, and that's
No,
been
but
on,
that
you've been talking about going this year, so
yeah, but I
it's not
honestly I'm
happening.
at my wits end
Oh,
with this group. Like it's my uni group and everyone's everywhere. We none of us live in the same city. Some of us don't even live in the same country. It's like herding cats, trying to
mm,
get everybody to do the same thing. Trying to we get a date and we've had that date 4 weeks now. And then finally when it comes to okay guys, let's do that. Let's book. Let's think about it a bit more. Someone turns around and goes, "Oh, I just realized I can't do that date." I
yeah,
was like,
because
okay.
Portugal would be a perfect weekend one because it's so close, and then it's you can also depending on where you go. If you go to Lisbon, like you can just have a nice weekend in Lisbon.
Well, that's exactly what we wanted to do. Our friends got a cafe open there. We wanted to, it would have been so fun. And I really still want to go. I was saying to Will, should we just go? But I think it'd be so cool to do it with them
Yeah.
and do it
Why
all
can't you guys just be
together.
like, these are the dates, everyone book if you can? But Malta as well, you can do it in a weekend, right? Can you?
Yes, well, I
Yeah.
searched on TikTok seeing 2 day itineraries and stuff, and now that's all I'm getting on my feed is people in Malta, Blue Lagoon, these really nice beach clubs. So, maybe we'll do that. I think as well, though, anytime it's like 30 degrees in London or even high 20s, I'm like, why would I want to be anywhere else?
Hmm.
This place is great. I actually want us to go to this Lido near where we live
Oh,
and
really?
just sit out, post up by the pool,
That's
take
it.
some snacks, all of that sort of stuff. Me and Will were going to go after work this week. We should definitely go.
Yeah, that sounds good. Let's do it. I think me and Alex are going for a picnic today.
That'll be nice.
Yeah, just go to M&S, grab a couple bits. We've got a bottle of champagne in the fridge that we were supposed to pop when we first moved in, like literally the first night.
Oh, yeah.
It was not conducive with everything everywhere, boxes everywhere. We didn't have a bed. It was blow up mattress central. It wasn't the time, but that's been in the fridge for like weeks and weeks. Every time I open the fridge, I'm like, well, when are we going to drink this champagne? So I think we should drink it at our picnic today.
Yeah, pop the bottle at the picnic. That's so cute. You and Alex do not do a picnic by halves. Why is it every single time you go to M&S for the picnic?
Where do you go?
The same place I do my food shop. I just keep it Sainsbury's. But you guys are like, picnics deserve M&S. I'm
Picky
dropping
bits. It's picky
30. I was going to
bits.
say 30K. You might as well.
30 pound, 30 whole Great British pounds. And you
No,
can
I
do
love
that quite
it.
easily at M&S
Oh,
with
yeah.
like, yeah, with like 4 items.
Exactly.
And then
Grapes
also,
alone at £4.
right, and then, but then also no regret. No
No.
regret. You're not like, oh my God, and I spent £6 on this. You're like, thank God I spent £6 on this. It was worth every
Exactly.
single penny.
Have you seen that the buyers and the food producers at M&S are like
TikTok
got quite
famous
a
now.
following? Yeah, on TikTok. It's so funny. But yeah,
Honestly.
everyone's in the comments like, I can't remember what their names are, Catherine or something. Catherine, hallelujah. Really praising her, just being thank you so much for the work that you've done. Oh, just so you know that that picks up your
Oh,
cost because when I was doing the one of the edits, I could hear you coughing and thing. I was like, let me just edit out that word now.
well, hopefully what you just said didn't need. Do you need to repeat it?
I can't remember what it says.
So, do you have anything to put on speaker this week? My speaker, or the thing that I put on speaker, was Tiptoe, the series.
Yeah. Do you know what I've been really liking?
What?
I've got this color changing light bulb from Argos. I think you can get it anywhere though. The brand is Tapo, Tapo, and got it on this timer so that at a specific time in the night the lights come on and it comes on at like 20% brightness, this really nice orange glow. And the vibe it creates, the coziness it creates in the living room is so nice. So we've got the standing lamp that has the orange glow at like 20% brightness. And then we've also got a lamp on the dining room table, another
What
shade of
time?
orange.
What time have you set it to come on?
So we'll set it a little bit too early, I will say. It's like 7.
Yeah, that's not a little bit too early. That's really early.
I
I'm
know.
finding these days like I can't wait for it to get dark now because I just want to put on the lamp.
Yeah.
And it's usually like 9, 10.
Yes, because it's still so bright. I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't believe how bright it was. Sorry, there's sparrows right by me.
Do you mean
Anyway,
behind the
yeah.
window?
Yeah, they're on the other side of the window, but they're like right by me.
You got sparrows all over you.
But yeah, it's just gotten so bright. I do love it. I love how bright it is. But yeah, I think we need to adjust the timing. But I just love the vibe that it creates when we've got our curtains closed or watching a show. We're all cozy on the sofa and the perfect brightness and the perfect color. It's really nice. You could just set it from your app. And also, if you're scared of the dark and you're leaving the living room to go into your bedroom, you can just put off the light in your from your bed using the app. It's perfect.
I love that.
I will
Lighting
be
is so
getting you
important.
one. I didn't forget that I was getting you one, by the way. I'm just gonna give it to you with your when you do your housewarming, you can get your housewarming gifts.
Damn. So you're withholding it. So I must do a housewarming. I should do one
It's like a
actually.
reward.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we didn't actually touch on anything we wanted to discuss today.
As always, guys, if you want to join in on the conversation, please comment on our YouTube or on our Spotify. You can also follow us at Stay on the Line Sis on TikTok and on Instagram. And if you want to give us your thoughts, views, and opinions, then you can email us stayonthelinesis@gmail.com. And please make sure that you follow us, subscribe, rate the podcast 5 stars, and yeah, keep the conversation flowing. Talk next week. All right. Bye.
Bye.